Sadguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai, and welcome to Jagadambe Reads the Holy Books of India, Mahabharata 507. As you may remember, Sahadev was taunting Shakuni. You laughed at all of us when we took our oaths, but now under your very eyes, all our oaths have been fulfilled. Arjuna has killed Radeya as he had sworn to do. Only Duryodhana is still alive. It will be a matter of moments before he is killed. Your son Uluka has been killed, according to the promise of Nakula. It only needs your death to make us all true to our oaths. Come, fight with me. Shakuni had to fight. He fought well, too, but Sahadev threw a javelin at him and killed him. With the death of Shakuni, all Duryodhana's hopes were killed too. He knew that it was all over. The curtain had fallen on the last act of the tragic drama. It only needed an epilogue, and he would himself provide it. The fight went on. Of the 11 Akshokinis, there were now 200 chariots, 500 horses, 100 elephants, and 3,000 soldiers. They fought so valiantly with the Pandavas. A few more moments, and they were all destroyed. Of the 11 Akshokinis, not a single soldier was left alive. All were dead. The Kaurava army was now made up of Duryodhana, Krupa, Ashwatthama, and Kritavarma. Just these 4 were left. The remnants of the Pandava army was 200 chariots, 700 elephants, 1,000 horses, and some footmen. That was all that was left of the 7 Akshokinis, which they had had at their command 18 days back. Chapter 4, Dvaipayana Lake. Duryodhana saw the vast expanse of the field of Kurukshetra. He remembered the words of his uncle Vidura. You will be the cause of the destruction of the entire race of Kshatriyas. Duryodhana's senses were reeling. He did not know what was happening to him. He thought, Vidura must have seen all this with his mind's eye. Duryodhana was seated on a horse, and it was wandering aimlessly. It had been hurt by the many arrows. Suddenly the horse dropped down dead, shedding tears for the one and only companion of his, who had also died because of him. Duryodhana abandoned the dead horse and walked away from there. He thought of himself 18 days back, and his heart was heavy with grief. Not so much for himself as for those who had died for him. His mind went back at once to Radeya. How he must have suffered. He had done so much for him, and he had to die. He must have passed through immense agony when he realized that the Pandavas were his brothers. Radeya, the one and only Radeya. Duryodhana's frame was burning as though a rain of fire was pouring all over him. He wanted to get away as far as possible from that dreadful battlefield. He walked on and on. He came across a cool and placid lake. It was so inviting, he thought he would cool his limbs in the cold water. He had nothing in his hand except the mace, which was his eternal companion. He was standing there, alone with his sorrow. Sanjaya, the charioteer of the king, saw him there. He saw him with his eyes full of tears. Duryodhana looked the image of pain and anguish and heartbreak. Sanjaya's heart was ready to break with compassion for this monarch, who was now alone, without hope, without a single man with him, without any desire even to talk. He hurried to the presence of the king. Duryodhana looked at him with tear-filled eyes and was not able to recognize him. His eyes were with his heart, and that was far away. Sadguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you for coming. I hope you come again.